So the big question is this: how do you lose all the weight that you want and actually keep it off for the rest of your life, while trying to make sense of all the noise that comes from the weight loss industry? That is the question. And this podcast will give you the answers.
G'day guys, and welcome to the next episode of the Weight Loss Secrets podcast. My name is Baron Grant and I'm super excited to be with you again to be able to talk about some things that will help you to be able to lose all the weight you want and keep it off for the rest of your life. And as always, these podcast episodes are brought to you by Ditching the Diet, where you can head to get some more tips and tricks and understanding of how you can lose all the weight you want and keep it off for the rest of your life. You can get hold of my book, you can get on my coaching program, I can support you on that journey. Just head to ditchingthediet.com and you can get started. Now, that aside, today I want to talk about the best time to start losing weight. So over the years, I have spent hours upon hours talking to people on the phone. Literally, I've spoken to thousands of people. One-on-one, not in a group setting I'm talking one-on-one on the phone where we talk for 45 minutes. And I go through where they're at, what they're wanting to achieve, and how I may or may not be able to help them on that journey. And in those discussions, something comes out all the time, and that's what I want to address today, is I'll talk to people about where they're at and what they want to do to change, and then frequently I'll get the message from people to say, Baron, I don't know that now is the right time for me to start this, and that's cool, right? There's no pressure or anything from me ever, but I always find it an interesting concept that now is not the right time. And I want to talk about it for a second. Now, this is not to do with me or my program or my business. I want you to think about where you're at right now and the changes you need to make to be healthy. I think to understand where things are at with it and my point of view on this, you have to almost step back and understand why you're trying to lose weight in the first place. So if it's just to appease numbers on the scales and it's to feel a bit lighter and the idea is not to change habits forever, then you actually should never bother trying because you'll lose the weight and then you put it back on again. And a lot of the reason why people sort of want to put it off is because it's an event as opposed to a change for life. And if you're looking at it from a perspective of this weight loss is now an event and I'm going to go 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 12 weeks, 20 weeks, doesn't matter how many weeks, and I'm going to lose weight, but then I'm going to go back to the weight I was living before, it's a waste of time. Don't even bother because it's more demoralizing to start again. So that's the concept of where I come from. And that is when you start a process to lose weight, it's got to be sustainable so that you can lose it and keep it off for the rest of your life. And that you decide to be healthy for the rest of your life. Weight loss is like a perk on that journey of being healthy. If I want to be healthy, if you're 20, 30 kilos overweight, to be healthy, you've got to be lighter. That's part of that journey. But to be healthy, you've also got to have good habits around food and exercise and mindset, and everything comes into that. So I want everyone to think about weight loss as a benefit of being healthy as opposed to the event itself. Because let's say you lose 20 or 30 kilos, that doesn't mean anything if you don't keep it off, because then you just got to go through that whole cycle again. And so for me, it's about lasting health. Now, back to the question, which is what people say to me, or the comments that people say to me, which is, I don't think now's a good time. And I will ask why. So tell me why is now not a good time. And the reasons I get a lot are things like, I'm turning 60 next Thursday, or it's my daughter's wedding in 3 weeks' time and I have to have a drink. I'm going away I had one lady, she went away to the Barossa Valley for I think it was a week or a weekend, and they'd all planned to get smashed while they were there. And so she said, I've got that coming up and that's the plan and I can't stop for that. And I said, all right. So with her, we spoke about a plan to be able to eat really well until she went to that. Still encouraged her to eat well and not drink too much while she was there. But at least we had a plan to help her on that journey. And what we found for her is that by the time she got to that point, she'd lost a bunch of weight. She's like, I actually don't want to stuff this up now. And I've made good choices and I feel good. So she didn't go as crazy when she was away. So that's one example. But when you are looking at it from a point of view of, hey, I've got this event coming up or that event, or it's Christmas or it's so-and-so's birthday or whatever it is, I don't want to start until after that. That is the wrong mentality. And it's the wrong mentality because what happens the next time there's an event? The next time there's an event, the next time there's an event. If events coming up, and if you're a really social person, you've got all these events coming up, that means blowout, 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 living the way that you've always lived up to this point. So therefore, you're never going to keep the weight off if you do that anyway. So the question is less about the right now being a good time to start because you've got things coming up. It's more about, do you really want this and do you want to be healthy? Because if you can still have an amazing time with your mates and not drink quite as much, or you can have an amazing time with your mates and not eat all the pudding that they're eating. So you can still do all of these cool things, but if you wait to do those things, there's always another event. So for me, it's never a good time to start a weight loss journey, and it's never a bad time to start a weight loss journey. In fact, it's always the right time right now, because the changes that you make now will have an impact immediately. So if you've got an event coming up in 3 or 4 or 5 or 10 weeks time, and you're like, I can't start it until after that, you'll put more weight on if you're living the way that you're living now, potentially if you're already putting weight on. That weight will keep growing and keep coming on, or certainly won't go down until that point. And then you're at a higher starting point before you put the extra weight on. Lots of people that I work with start before Christmas after we have a big discussion about never a good time. And they're starting before Christmas, but if they didn't, they would have been 5 kilos heavier at the end of the Christmas celebrations, for the week or two that happens with that Christmas celebration. So I want you to think and analyze your life right now. If you haven't started on your journey, why not? What's stopping you? And really, I would say they're just excuses getting in the way. Because it's not just about an event coming up. It might be that you're too busy with work, or you're too busy with family, or you just simply don't have time. None of that's ever true. Everybody's busy. Everybody everybody works really hard. Everybody has to, get up early. And if so, they might need to get up a little bit earlier if they want to get some walking in the morning. Everyone's busy with life. And if we keep pushing or kicking the can down the road, you'll never get there. It's not a good time. Absolutely, it's probably not a good time right now for you to start walking in the morning. It's probably not a good time for you to start preparing your own food and not buying it. It's probably not a good time for you to invest the energy and the headspace in losing weight. Yep, absolutely. That means it's the perfect time. Because if you can do it now in the mess and the horribleness that's happening, or the frustration that's happening, or just the total chaos in your life right now, imagine when it is a little easier. Imagine how much easier it's going to be able to stay on that process and stay on that path, because it has to be long term. So for me, the message today is, are you delaying making healthy changes in your life? And if you are, maybe take stock and go, no, now is the time. You can learn as much as you want. You can learn forever about all the different foods you need and all the macronutrients, and you can learn about how carbs process in our bodies versus how fats process in our bodies, or you can just get in and lose weight. That's my view on it. There's so much information out there. A lot of it's bogus, but there's so much information out there about weight loss and health. And we can consume all of it. And there's good stuff in all of it. But if we don't just jump in and get it done, you're never going to achieve what you want to achieve, because weight loss is less about learning and more about action. You can learn on that journey, but it's more about doing it every single day. I often say to people on the phone who tell me that they know a lot about losing weight, but they're not where they want to be. And I would say to them, it's really interesting it's not all about knowledge, because if it was all about knowledge, we'd all be skinny and rich. Knowledge is just a small part of the journey. In fact, it's probably less a part of the journey than the action is, because it's action and execution and commitment and determination and diligence every day is how we win at most things in life. It's not about I know so much, it's about I do so much. So I want you to think right now, where are you in relation to starting? Now is the best time to start. Not tomorrow, not the next day, not Monday after you have a big weekend, not after your birthday, not after your friend's niece's 21st. Now is the time to make changes in your life. And whether that's with me or with someone else, that's not relevant. It is, you need to make changes. If you're watching this, there's probably a good chance that you need to make changes. So I'd encourage you to do that. So look at what those things that you've put in your way to say, I can't do it because of this or this or this, and just knock them down. Nah, I can. Knock all those little dominoes down and get them out of the way. Because when you commit to go, I'm doing it and I'm doing it today, that's when you win. When I started this podcast, I'd probably delayed it for quite a while, to be honest, because I was nervous about getting on and doing a video every day or an audio thing every day, and particularly around weight loss and nutrition and food and exercise, because the opinions in this space are insane. Everybody has so much to say, and you get shot down to bits all over the place. Everyone wants to put comments in and go, you don't know anything, you're a moron, blah, 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 blah. That's what happens. You get comments everywhere. Everybody has an opinion about this stuff. But I've just seen too many people make such amazing changes in their life. And I was like, I'm going to start sharing it. I'm going to start talking about it, because I get so frustrated with what I see people doing, and they're so frustrated they're not losing weight. But the reason I tell you that story is I made a decision on, I think it was the Tuesday, that I'm going to post every day. And it was so out of my comfort zone. It was not something that I really wanted to do, but I wanted to start telling these stories. I'm like, that's it, I'm doing it. I'm going to post every day. And on the Thursday I started, and I haven't stopped. I've just kept going. And I'm really happy with myself that I've been able to continue to put out stuff every day. They're not long, but I want you to think about it like that. And I don't say that because I'm the best at stuff. I'm not at all. This is rough and raw, and I'm just doing it. I don't know how to do a great video. I don't know how to do the right keywords on YouTube to get seen by everybody. I don't know all that stuff, and I don't even know how to get good lighting in this room. I'm trying out a different camera today and all different things to try and make it look a little bit better. But so what? Just do it. You might not know all the right ways to start losing weight. You might not feel comfortable and you don't know how to do that. You don't know how to do this, and there's 50 different things that you can choose from. And there's all these things in your way that are stopping you from starting. Just start. Because once you start, you learn on the journey. You learn on the journey, and you'll feel better and learn and get better and better and better throughout that process, and tweak it and make it better and improve it. But you won't do that until you start. So don't let things get in your way. Don't delay. Just jump in. When is the right time to lose weight? Right now. I'll talk to you tomorrow.